Hello everyone, Double Z33 here, Zane Zeiter. Firstly, gotta give props to my brother Owen. He showed me how to add pictures of album artwork to my videos, so now the album artwork is clear and visible, and you no longer have to look at blurry images on my phone. Alright, so today we have another video in my installment of Top Fives. Today's top 5 topic is comeback albums. As always, for my top 5, it is just that. My top 5. Not the definitive top 5, Rolling Stone's top 5, your top 5. It's simply the top 5 I prefer. So let's get underway with number 5. My number 5 is a cult classic, an underrated album, a hidden gem, and of course, it's a comeback album, that's why it makes the list. It is Deep Purple's Perpendicular from 1996. Nice, clever title there with the spelling. And this album, and with this album, others as well as myself, we consider this a comeback album for the band because the last few albums preceding it were not very well liked and flops. You had The House of Blue Light, Slaves and Masters, and The Battle Rages On. And with this album, it kind of surprised people too with adding Steve Morse and the legendary Ritchie Blackmore leaving, and they came out with this powerhouse. So most would likely consider Perfect Strangers to be on this top 5 list and Deep Purple's comeback album. But I prefer Perpendicular. It might actually be my all-time favorite Deep Purple album. Sometimes I feel like screaming, just a touch away, loosen my strings. Some unbelievable songs on that album. Number 4. Apropos that this is number 4, Toto 4 from 1982. The band blew everyone away with their hugely successful debut. They're self-titled, back in the 70s. Came back with this album. Because in between there you had Hydra and Turn Back. Hydra was an off-the-wall album, aside from the single 99. And then you had the underrated Turn Back. But this masterpiece here, and it's their most well-known album, won them 3 Grammys, including Producer of the Year for the band, Album of the Year, and Record of the Year for the song Rosanna. It is definitely the band's most pop album and most accessible. Listen to all the hits on this album though. You have the aforementioned Rosanna. You have Make Believe, Afraid of Love, I Won't Hold You Back, and of course their staple and everyone's favorite song, Africa. Number 3, Poison by Alice Cooper. It had been 13 years since Alice's last gold album in the United States, Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. And he released a bunch of flops like Special Forces and Dada in between that time. And then he came through with this album, one of Alice's best-selling albums, platinum album for Alice. It also, of course, spawned one of his biggest hits and my favorite Alice song, Poison. Other great tracks on this album, Spark in the Dark, Bed of Nails, the great ballad Hell is Living Without You, and of course House of Fire. And an interesting tidbit about House of Fire, it was originally penned by Joan Jett, and she felt that it didn't fit her style, so Alice and Desmond Child toyed with it and made it into the hit we know it as today. Alright, number 2, Death Magnetic by Metallica. The band had started alienating fans 17 years before with the Black Album, and then those that didn't jump off the bandwagon after that, they did with Load. So with this album, they returned to their metal sound. Yes, I know Hardwired is more acclaimed, but I personally haven't been able to get into it. So I'm choosing Death Magnetic as my number 2. Standout tracks, Cyanide, Unforgiven 3, which has one of Kirk's best solos in my opinion, The Day That Never Comes, and All Nightmare Long. Alright, number 1. Phoenix by Asia. Look at that amazing album artwork by the legendary Roger Dean. How wonderful is he? And this was the reunion album of the 4 original members, John Wetton, Steve Howe, Jeff Downes, and Carl Palmer. Their first album together since 1983's Alpha. So, what is that? 25 years since their last recording together. And the band is hungry and firing on all cylinders here. You've got Parallel Worlds, Never Again, Shadow of a Doubt, Alibis, Heroin, I Will Remember. Some fantastic lyrics on that album and some incredible arrangements, including a harpsichord. And it is my number 1. So recap back through. Number 1, Phoenix by Asia. Number 2, Metallica Death Magnetic. Number 3, Poison by Alice Cooper. Number 4, Toto 4. And rounding out my top 5 comeback albums, Deep Purple, Perpendicular. So that is Double Z33's top 5 comeback albums, and that wraps things up. If you like my content, please subscribe. Ring my bell, so you'll get a notification when I upload a new video. Follow me on Facebook. Donate to my Patreon. Donate to my Ko-fi. I'll have the links below for all of that. Comment your thoughts below as well. That way we can discuss things and share your top 5 lists for comeback albums. I'll have my top 5 comeback albums flash here on the screen in a moment. Thanks for watching. So long, everybody.